Live. All right, we're gonna wait until I think Billy's the only one watching right now. Okay. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? New time for the Rising Texan Tuesdays at 8. But we'll still have the Lone Star podcast tomorrow. So Billy will be joining in for the Lone Star podcast, guys. For those of you out there that enjoy the dynamic duo. And today we have some very interesting news that just came out of Maverick County. Let's see who's there. Guys, everybody say hello to Joey. Joey is a big fan of David Salcedo. We're actually bringing that up today, Joey. So I'm glad you tuned in. We appreciate it as always. The rest of everybody else, you guys know, we'll jump right in. Of the information that went out today, we're the only news media source that is reporting this to you. We're the only news media source that's bringing out the truth, and the only one that has a hold of this information because of the request that we had with the county, where we were asking the names of the businesses and individuals that submitted and were approved for the American Rescue Plan program funding. Now, of course, if you remember, the Biden administration came out with a American Rescue Plan. The program was set to send funding to counties and cities. Part of that program, they could use the funding to help out those businesses, individuals that were affected by the COVID pandemic, thus trying to assist those that were having difficult times. That was the main reason for the money, right? So in having this funding out, if you guys don't remember the history, I can briefly say there was a commissioner precinct 4 Maverick County Precinct 4 Commissioner Roberto Ruiz submitted a item on the agenda to have a committee set up for this these fundings. This committee was supposed to be set up to review applications, assist in helping out where, or naming or deciding where should the funding go. Infrastructure to the businesses, how much, as per whatever guidelines that the American Rescue Plan program, as to their guidelines, to see where, funding could be allocated. And it was supposed to be, as proposed by Commissioner Ruiz, was supposed to be a pretty fair and an opportunity for individuals and businesses, small business owners, to participate in deciding where the funding goes. Now, the thing that's going on here in Maverick County, as we've known that Maverick County is anything but normal as it comes with counties, right? Especially most recently in the past couple of years under Maverick County Judge David Salcedo. So when we requested this funding, we were not aware at the time, but there was a situation going on with the actual program. Now, the reason why we submitted a request to see what this funding was, what was going on, and everything, was the fact that please share, guys. Was the fact that the county did not have anything they were not making anything public. Several business owners did come by and expressed their discontent with what was going on behind doors. Now, a lot of them, and when I say a lot, it's multiple county residents, businesses came forward and submitted, kind of a complaint to us, letting us know that what's going on here in the county is, they're changing the regulation on us. They're telling us that they need this, they need that. We were never told this, we were never told that. And it created a lot of confusion. And that's why we wanted to ask who was involved, who were the people that were awarded, so we can get to the bottom if there is anything going on. Now, the program is based out of the Workforce Center, which is located on Ferry and Pierce, I believe, the corner of Ferry and Pierce. And, a lot of people have gone and tried to apply from what I know, what I've been told. But a lot of businesses have been struggling to actually get that funding out to them. Now, when we talk about the funding, the loans, the applications, and everything, all business owners are entitled to apply. All business owners, especially small businesses that don't have the time to be dealing with, back and forth. As a small business owner, your time is very valuable. So there was complaints about, it seems they don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle this. And I'm talking about directly the staff that's involved with in the workforce area, right? There was a complaint, written complaint, even to the Texas Attorney General, I believe. So there has been several issues, right? So in those several, Joey's always got to throw a wrench in there, right? Joey's always got to throw something out there to make us laugh, make us think a little bit about what could be the situation that's going down there. But in doing so, and asking these questions and wanting to know who has applied, who hasn't applied, it was very strange to us that there was a issue where we received from the legal counsel that there was going to be a letter sent out to the Attorney General. And from there, we were going to go ahead and wait, the time that they're allotted to get a response from the Attorney General, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. And then just yesterday, we received an additional letter. Just yesterday, we received an additional letter from legal counsel, from the county, of course, the Commissioner's Court legal counsel. And it turns out that the program, or partial certain applicants, or it's very vague, the letter that we got, but apparently they're being investigated by the Texas Rangers. Now, from what I understand, this should not keep Maverick County from sharing this information with us, at least when it pertains to the certain case or cases or individuals that are being investigated for whatever reason. We weren't given a reason, but we do have the letter. We did post it on our blog as well, on Facebook and our website and everything. But we have a copy of this letter, and I want you guys to go ahead and see what's going on here. And I think it's a little bit of an exaggeration coming from their legal counsel, because we should be able to see other people that are not involved with the investigation. We should have that information available to us. But they are trying to, Maverick County is trying to keep us from seeing this information and seeing what businesses, what individuals received this public funding, because that's what the American Rescue Plan is. The whole program is built on public funding, public spending, and us as a community should be allowed to see where this money is going. Of course, there cannot, we have Afra Mayel. I understand what you mean. It's an open investigation. My understanding, it's only a certain contained investigation. So there was other people that were not investigated, right? They're not being investigated. It's not the whole program, from my understanding in general, but it is a portion of it. So they should be allowed to let us peek in and to see what people, what individuals, what businesses got funded. Now, there has been an issue to where we're being left in the dark, and let me go ahead and bring that letter out so you guys can take a look at it. And we have it here, the legal counsel. And again, this is a copy. This is a copy that's going out to the Attorney General Paxson, and we received a copy because we were requesting the information. And as you can see, the correspondence is submitted by my office for your consideration on behalf of Maverick County. Maverick County requests an opinion concerning on the ability to withhold information sought by Isaac T. Ruiz, received on September 27th, 2021. If you go a little bit further, we asked this back in September 27th, back in September 27th is when we requested this. And the exemption that they're using to exempt them from sharing this information is that they're being, it would release information that would interfere with the detection, investigation, and prosecution of crime. You scroll down to page 2, see all information sought by Mr. Ruiz is held by the Texas Rangers, which it's kind of puzzling because and this is why we requested the accounts payable that was approved by Maverick County Commissioner's Court back in Friday's meeting, was because apparently not all the information is being held by the Texas Rangers, because the Commissioner's Court was able to approve the payout of some businesses and I'm assuming individuals as well. And they're trying to tell us that the Texas Rangers has all the information. And that is just simply not true, based on the fact that they had a meeting on Friday and they approved some payouts under their accounts payable item with the Maverick County Commissioner's Court. So we did request that funding through the payables, accounts payable, so we can go ahead and release the information to, our community, our public, because like I said, there were several people that were upset that they did not get the attention, or maybe that they were not, funded, or they were giving the back and forth, run around, everything like that. And that's what we want to know. So they're trying to say that it's an open investigation, and we respect that. The Texas Rangers are investigating, but investigating what exactly? Because it is my understanding that they're just investigating a certain section, or maybe certain applications based on complaints that were made to the Texas Ranger. Now, all the other ones, especially those that were approved, especially the ones that were approved in Commissioner's Court, should be available to the public. And why is the county trying so hard to withhold that information from us? That's what some of the I guess doubt, or kind of the suspicion comes from, because obviously it's not every single thing is being held by the Rangers, because if everything was being held by the Texas Rangers, there would be no approvals at the Maverick County Commissioner's Court. There's no way that would be possible. The whole program would be placed on hold, and that's just simply not the case, because we have Commissioner's Court this past Friday approving some of the some of the payouts under the American Rescue Plan through accounts payable. Again, we are trying to get that information. We submitted another request for their accounts payable just yesterday. So hopefully we'll be able to get that information in, but I do want to get this information for you guys because it's very interesting how this situation is being handled in general. Now, there was a committee set up. I believe that this committee does have very interesting names, just like Maverick County Judge David Salcedo, Commissioner Precinct 1 Jerry Morales, and they are able to be a part of this. Should be a public meeting, hasn't been a public meeting, so we'll be requesting the names of the entire committee tomorrow, and we're also going to request the minutes of each of these meetings that they conducted, because when any kind of stuff that you create a group or a committee to handle and be the decision maker for public funding, then that committee needs to be public. Those meetings need to be public. Whoever's serving on the committee and the minutes for that meeting should be taken. And that's what is kind of confusing about the situation, because yeah, we saw the item come out on Maverick County Commissioner's Court, and we saw how they kind of push Olga Ramos, our Commissioner Precinct 3, our Commissioner Precinct 4, our commissioners to the side, those two trying to do something and or trying to be a part of this committee, and they were just kind of brushed aside by the notorious majority of Maverick County Commissioner's Court, which is Precinct 2 Commissioner, Precinct 1 Commissioner, and the notorious David Salcedo, the county judge. So it's very interesting, guys. And the way it's turning out to be, like I said, it's very interesting to say the least. And as we scroll down, we see, a copy was given to the county judge, David Salcedo, and as well as us, we received a copy of this letter. And a very important, we didn't receive that Exhibit C affidavit from Texas Ranger Jose M. Sanchez as incorporated as set here forth. So apparently from what I'm seeing here, Texas Ranger Mr. Sanchez provided an affidavit to the legal counsel of Maverick County Commissioner's Court. I just want you guys to know this has nothing to do with the county attorney, Jaime A.J. Racheta. Obviously, Commissioner's Court has their own. Commissioner Court has their own legal counsel, and that's who they're employing here to request an opinion from the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. So that is the difference of what's going on here, is that you have a committee that was set up, appointed. I'm assuming, we don't know because no word or nothing has been spoken about it. We do have confirmation of David Salcedo, the Maverick County judge, and Commissioner Precinct 1, Jerry Morales. We have confirmation that they both do participate. And, that is subject to Open Records Act, and that committee should have been, I don't know if they have or not, but we're going to request that, taking minutes about what actions are taken as a committee. So that's going to be very interesting coming out, and we hope we don't get, given the runaround like they are right now. It kind of seems that they really don't want to give us this information, and it's disappointing because this is public funding, and we should be allowed to see how public funding gets spent. That's the reason why you have open records request, the FOIA Act, because public funding everything needs to be up and available to the community. So that's one of the things we got for you guys. We have a little bit more. If you guys want to go see the letter, we have it on our Facebook. Go ahead and check that out. Another thing that we wanted to bring up that we were kind of talking, I know we're going back and forth with the city and the county. We did submit a record request as well with the city, and we've already received confirmation. We already received confirmation that from the city secretary that they're gonna, they already received our request, and the request that we put in is that we're requesting the city manager George Antuna's records request, credit card transactions that are under his credit card that he's been using. So we have that kind of information that we want to make available to you guys. Again, this is a public servant. This is a public servant that's receiving, $155,000 of our public funding, including benefits. Now, you're talking about benefits that are $500 for car allowance, $150 for cell phone allowance. He gets paid mileage if he drives around a certain radius, and then we're just kind of curious as to what transactions have been going on that he's been allowed to conduct using his city credit card. So we're trying to follow up these leads for you guys and see what's going on. We looked a little bit into the city manager because it has been an important topic just recently, because all of a sudden, when we showed up to the city council, we discussed how, we felt that some of the projects and how the city manager is a little bit out of touch with what our city actually needs. And we showed up to the city council meeting. The city council, whenever they got out of executive session, after discussing the city manager item, whether to extend, whether to, end his contract, put him on probation, and any of these things could have happened. We were a little disappointed that the city council came out and they didn't tell us anything. All they said is that we're going to go ahead and continue with him as per the instructions that were given in executive session. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but then later on, we saw a news report saying that they actually ended up raising his salary. And now all of a sudden we see him popping up and now actually doing photo ops and everything. So we wanted to kind of get a sense of who this man was, because we really don't know. He shies away from the camera. He's not a lot like city manager of the past that would be readily available for interviews or that would show up to events to support employees of the city, which I hear morale in the city right now is at an all-time low. Now, I thought it was bad when I was there. Apparently, the situation that's going on right now, we've reported about nepotism. We've reported about the projects that are coming out, that some of them are good. I'm not trying to bash any of them. I'm just saying that they do not fit with what our community needs right now. Our community is still, kind of in a pandemic where quasi, people are still afraid. Some people are still, their businesses are still hurting. They're still trying to recover. And, how can you honestly judge what a city manager has done when he came in, amidst the pandemic? Now, one of the things that we did say, and we will continue to harp on, is the irresponsible proposition of raising one employee that might be subject to the Nepotism Act, nepotism ordinance in the city, and leaving out our first responders, our policemen, our firefighters, our public works department that had a very difficult time. They left their homes, to take care of the community. They left their homes to take care of this community of ours and risk their families, because of course they had to go back home. Full-blown pandemic here in Eagle Pass, where it was rated one of the top worst spreads or ratios in the country. Yet some of these first responders only got 5%, and it's a difficult pill to swallow when they get a bridge director out there and they get a 13% increase with the bridges being closed. Now, if it had not been for the firefighters, for the policemen, for our public works department, they kept the city going. And I take a long pause after that, because I just cannot see how our city manager, now this guy, yes, he answers to the council, but the mayor and council answer to us. And them two, of course, along with our sheriff's department in the county, and private ambulance, and the whole healthcare. Now, of course, that's apart from the city or working within the city. But just real quick, we do want to thank you, to the nurses, the EMTs. Just because you don't work with the city, we do recognize the work that went into it. But it's just look at the balance on this. You have firefighters, ambulances, public works department out there getting exposed to this virus, exposed to the weather conditions we had in February. Then you have, a bridge that was closed. It just does not make sense about the 13% versus 5% for our first responders. Now, I'll tip of the hat to our first responders, fire, law enforcement, ambulance service that is under the fire department as well. They're in the city, public works department. If they haven't told you, thank you. A sincere thank you. Healthcare workers as well, sheriff's department. We know you guys were out there and exposing your own family to this, because you still have to go to work. So to me, I think that was one of the worst things a city manager could have done. And it just goes to show you how out of touch the city manager is with what our actual community need is. And we ran a little history, not really a history, guys, but looking at what we have at our disposal. We wanted to look at the job history of the city manager and provide that for you. So let's go ahead and bring this up for you right now. So before we start anything, here's our city manager and his LinkedIn page. Okay, well, of course, he's a city manager right now since 2019. He's worked as a president of Timeless Sunsets LLC, okay. Business development agent, okay. And insurance, okay. He was a council member at the city of Schertz, okay. So he went from being a director of economic development and intergovernmental relations to a city council member, okay. This is where it kind of gets interesting, where he was actually a candidate for state representative. And then before that, a regional director for United States Senate, and then a special assistant to Lieutenant Governor Rick Perry. Wow. Impressive. Now, let me ask this question, because it is a question for those watching out there. We got to be careful with what we say. Who better to assist somebody running a state representative campaign than maybe somebody that's already ran a state representative campaign? Or who better assist in bigger politics, statewide politics? Who can help that out? somebody that's already been there, right? That just seems very interesting to me. Very interesting to me. He worked as a regional director with the Senate, so he was there for 4 years. So he understands the wait a minute, I got to show this bomb right here. What does he know? I'm just saying, I mean, if you, let's say, were a politician, a state politician, as we can see, and the United States helped out in the United States Senate, I mean, maybe if I was thinking about running for a position for state representative or a senator, I mean, wouldn't it benefit me to hire somebody or be involved in hiring somebody or be friends with somebody that has experience doing this stuff? Question mark. We got to make sure we ask questions here, right? We can't afford another lawsuit from the scary people upstairs, right? But it's just very interesting to me because we know how politics works here in our community. A lot of us may turn a blind eye to it, and I understand why, because it's just a thing that many people are tied into the community and into some of these jobs, and they're afraid to mention anything, and we understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is just really glaring out to me. Mr. Antuna has a state political, a Senate political background. And we currently have somebody serving in a political capacity that is involved in politics, or maybe wants to be involved, or possibly can. And, I'm not stating anything that isn't true here, but my question is, could this hire, or could this keeping him on board so much, or trying, could that have any why they're trying to stick around? Why is it so shady with Mr. Antuna? I mean, why can't we just say that he was going to get a raise after the council meeting? So going back, we have asked for his credit card transactions. We're curious for the past fiscal year 2020 to 2021, which is current right now, right? They just kicked off the 2022 fiscal year. But we're very curious as to what kind of transactions, being that some of these things kind of smell, I guess, if you want to say that. And a wise man once told me that if something smells, stay away from it. Don't do it. You don't want to get involved in anything that might stink, because people in the community can get that same smell too, and it's a thing where I haven't seen the city shy from being transparent up until the evaluation of the city manager. And that's one thing that we need to be taken into account, is that why all of a sudden is the transparency not there from the city, when before the city was so transparent compared to the county? Now I kind of feel with the direction that it's going is that it's not as transparent as we all hoped it would be. Excuse me, sorry about that. And that's cause for concern. That's cause for concern because we have to have a standard of transparency in our community, a standard where we know what once we know that there's a certain level of transparency that our community needs, we are the ones, the community, the constituents, the residents, we are the ones that need to hold them accountable for the things that they're the business that they're conducting, for the business that they're conducting. And if we don't hold them responsible to that, dare I say, the city could get as shady as the county has been, where they're not even letting us see what's going on with this funding. They're not letting us participate. They're not giving us any notice as to what is going on with the funding from the American Rescue Plan. And I would really hate to see the city, go a different path or go towards that path, but not giving us the answers that we're seeking here is showing a lot. It's showing a lot, and it's disappointing the way our community is going, because whenever the city and the county are involved, or any public entity for that matter, the school district, they need to be as transparent as possible, and they avoid a lot of problems when they do that. That's just the way public entities work. It's not anything that's not being done in any other community. There's other communities that have been able to change their governmental entities to become more transparent, because that's what our community deserves. Our community deserves to know where funding goes, especially when it's public funding being spent by the county, by the city, by the school district. You're allowed to know where that money is going. And if there is any kind of abuse going on, we need to know about it. We as taxpayers, we as constituents, we as residents have the American right, our birthright as Americans, as Texans, constitutional right to know public information. Now, we have a special not announcement, but a special video that we found, and it's very interesting, guys. This video here, look, and it's like if almost he smells it coming up, right? Red flags. So we have a special video coming up, guys, and a little bit more detail, and we'll talk about that right now. But I just want you guys to realize what is actually happening in our community, what is actually going down, and the back door to this, and how things are conducted here. Because maybe somebody is not literally taking public funding like dollars and giving them out, but there's other ways that you pay for things as a city official, and using our money. You get me? So I don't want to hold you back anymore. Let's go ahead and bring up this video.
Hey, David.
Stop. Let me just hold you back on that. This was 2018. That's Judge David Salcedo. Guess who's wearing that red shirt right there? Let me tell y'all. So you remember the big bomb that we dropped? Rafael, just remember the big bomb that we dropped not too long ago about the consultants from Shepherd Government Group. And Aframayel, as long as you're saying their truth, there's nothing that they can sue you for, bro. So we're not worried about that. That right there, guys, in the red shirt, that right there is Obi Salinas. I'm not lying. Wearing a Salcedo shirt. I'm not lying. He is part of the partnership of Shepherd Government Affairs. Stop me when I'm lying. And he is out there block walking with David Salcedo, county judge. Now, mysteriously, right after he won in 2018, he gets a consulting job. He's right there. He was block walking. Now, I don't know. My question is, what do y'all think? Do y'all think maybe he did this for an $8,000 a month contract? Question mark. Because I don't know. I'm just asking you guys. So there he is, again, 2018, block walking with County Judge David Salcedo. This is the first time we see this man out here. Now, $8,000 a month is a lot of money. We showed you guys, they just recently extended their contract. So now it's 3 years that they have been on Maverick County payroll as their consultants for special services, I believe. Special services. So, I mean, and you can check governmental affairs. They have a Shepherd Government Affairs. They have a website. You see my man Obi over there. We saw him in the Luis Cifuentes elections as well. So you can go ahead and I mean, this is information that anybody can get, and this is the truth. So, I mean, Aframayel, we're not worried about getting sued. So, you know, they can't, we're not saying anything that's wrong or incorrect. That is Obi Salinas. That is the county judge. And Obi Salinas has just gotten his company's contract extended for the 3rd year. An $8,000 a month contract for special services. What are those special services? Debbie, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking, what do the people think? I'm asking what the people think. But we'll go ahead and continue the video and see, you know.
Is it true that Rudy Bowles is already county judge?
Sí, una de las preguntas que hemos visto en las últimas semanas que existen, porque es parte de lo que se está discutiendo en las redes sociales con los presidentes. Hay una gente que no está al tanto que el señor Rudy Bowles era juez del condado. Hace 30 años él tuvo la oportunidad, se le dio la oportunidad. Desafortunado.
Isn't that crazy how hasn't David Salcedo been in Maverick County Commissioner's Court over 20 years? And he's poking at Rudy Bowles. Kind of funny, right? Let's continue this video. See what else he has to say. What other information he has for us.
Realmente lo que estamos viendo ahorita, el dinero que se está utilizando el pagador de impuestos no eran por mejoras que existen ahorita, eran por los daños que hizo el señor Bowles. Durante los 80s, en el término que él tuvo, le dio la oportunidad que viniera mucha gente a vender raíces, a vender subdivisiones, terrenos en esas subdivisiones, sin nada de los servicios. Es más, él hasta se burla de la gente de las quintas y les dice, yo vendí los terrenos aquí. Sí, los vendiste, pero los vendiste sin los servicios, nuevo drenaje, nueva pavimentación, nuevo alumbramiento, no había seguridad, ninguna de las necesidades que existen. Y lo que está pasando ahorita, que el mismo pagador de impuesto está pagando por las mejoras en 30 años que los llevamos para llegar al punto donde estamos ahorita. Y fue por los daños que permitió el señor Bowles, y no nomás lo permitió, pero el señor era parte del daño. Él mismo estaba vendiendo sus terrenos. So, cuando ves un anuncio que dice el cambio, nosotros somos el cambio. El señor Bose ya tuvo la oportunidad y no tomó ventaja de ser lo que es correcto y lo que es legal. Por eso, a una persona le ganó en escrito. Tuvieron que escribir el nombre para sacarlo. Y por algo lo sacaron, porque le estaba haciendo daño a nuestro condado, le estaba haciendo daño a la gente, a los pagadores del impuesto, a la gente de nuestro condado, y nomás, como siempre, ayudándole a un poco de gente. El mismo grupo que anda ahí ahorita con él, señor Tomás Herrera, Roberto y Ana González, el mismo Enrique Montalvo, eran los mismos que estaban en los 80s haciendo daño al condado.
Whoa, I had to stop that there. Isn't that the coffee calling the kettle black, or how's that saying going? Isn't this man right now, what he is saying, isn't that what he is being accused of by our community? Assisting a certain group only? Wow, bro.
Y quiere regresar. Nosotros, con el apoyo de nuestra gente, no lo vamos a permitir. Y le digo y le repito a nuestra gente, esa persona ya tuvo la oportunidad de servir, no hizo buen papel, y la mayoría de la gente en voto escrito lo sacó. So, nosotros seguimos adelante luchando por los residentes de nuestro condado, y yo les aseguro que vamos a seguir adelante reduciendo el déficit en lo negro y dándole los servicios. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.
Let's go back a little bit. So the little grupito he's talking about, Obi Salinas right here. Again, as soon as he won this election, all of a sudden there's a Shepherd government group that started getting an $8,000 a month contract. So to me, what he's saying is that, you know, Rudy Bowles was worried about a certain group, taking care of a certain group. So what would you call the current County Judge David Salcedo is doing? What do you call that? $8,000 a month. Now, one's got to wonder, did that contract figure into what this gentleman is out here doing? I don't know. Just asking for, you know, can somebody answer that question for me? Well. Guys, and it's exactly what I'm trying to say, that we need to open up our eyes to what is going on now, not only in the county, but in the city as well. I mean, I really thought that we were voting for change when we voted for Mayor Salinas, voting for transparency. I mean, it just doesn't, things are not adding up to the promises that we were given whenever we went to vote. Again, I know I've said this before. One of the people that I do want to congratulate, and even though she's made herself somewhat of an outcast, Monica Cruz, it is after what is right for our community. And no, I mean, she's there for 4 years. We're not trying to help her in a campaign. We're not anything like that, because she's not campaigning. But if you see anybody fighting for what is right, I mean, just catch one of these meetings. Catch the meeting that I attended, and I expressed the concern with Mr. Antuna. It kind of seems that they did not even take anything that I said into consideration. They went ahead and still continued to raise the city manager's salary, right? But this is, if anything, needs to be brought to light that, come on, they're on their 3rd year of a contract. They didn't even show up when they were on the agenda. We know exactly what is going on here. The community can see it. At this time, there was no contract for Shepherd Government Affairs. After David Salcedo won this election against Rudy Bowles by a very slim margin, all of a sudden we needed special services, a company to do special services for Maverick County. What for? What's the story behind this? Why $8,000 a month? And that's what we need to be responsible residents, be responsible citizens. Notice what's going on. Elections are coming up faster than you guys know. And now we're seeing continually shady work by Maverick County that they do not disclose all the information. There's budget amendments every single meeting. Now, let me ask you, do you know what those budget amendments are? Because we sure don't. We try to look at the agenda every single time. And the thing is that let's say this contract, it's an $8,000 contract for doing, I mean, I don't know what. Could it have been for the block walking to help him win an election? Is there another story behind it? It's just so coincidental that his company lands an $8,000 contract. Now go $8,000 a month contract. That's $96,000 a year. $96,000 a year that could have helped to alleviate flooding in the Lindio area. It could have helped Las Quintas that he's talking about there, because they have a lot of issues there. And, you would think the commissioner for Precinct 1 would try to alleviate some of the problems there, but we see very minimal. And it's sad that our community gets excited for food distributions, because they waive all that stuff, dog food, all that, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but they waive all that in front of us, and we forget about these things happening in the background. Again, a lot of the stuff that we try to ask for from the county, we get a fight against them. We have it to where we're trying to get information for our community, for the people that take the time and watch our podcast here. And we're just trying to deliver news that maybe you don't get from other news sources. And to me, this is very important news, because how does somebody go from block walking before an election is won, after the election is won, their company, lo and behold, their partnership, their company, their Shepherd Government Affairs gets awarded a contract. Surprise, surprise. I mean, these are just some of the things that we hadn't even stumbled upon this. We have reported about Shepherd Government Affairs before, and all of a sudden we stumble onto this gold mine of information that was posted by David Salcedo and company, themselves. So it's like in any a comparison. It's like any criminal case. Let's say there's a murder or something like that. The murderer always leaves evidence behind. They always come around to enjoy their work, and whenever something's done wrong, they always leave a trail. Could this be some kind of trail? Question mark. It's just it's very concerning. I think that we all need to, very well said, follow the money trail. Very well said. Now we're going to go and try to check out some of these comments. We just wanted to drop a little information and update you guys on the situations that we are dealing with, the information we're going after. We have a lot more coming up. Elections, again, right around the corner. We're going to be revving everything up, trying to get Judge David Salcedo, open invitation. If you want to come by and have an interview with us, we would love that. We would love to have you. We'll invite you on the show. We'll invite any opponent that happens to come out, which we have heard that you are going to have an opponent. It's not going to be easy, I guess, or as just signing up for the county judge position again. And we're waiting until that special someone announces, and we'll have him or her also on our podcast, hopefully. And we would love to host a debate, since we do know that Judge Salcedo was so ready for a debate against Rudy Bowles. Hey, we would love to host a debate and have our community ask questions, and no softball questions. None of that Gloria Hernandez interviewing David Judge Salcedo. None of those softball questions. We're not here to favor anybody. We're here to favor the community, the people of our community, the constituents. That's where those are the people that watch us. The people that want to know what's going on, what's the truth, what's the story behind the story they're trying to tell you. Always remember that there's always a story behind the story. And that's what we like to follow. That's what we like to demonstrate to you guys and provide for you guys. That way, when this next election comes around, you understand why things like these happen. You understand why these people get $8,000 a month contracts. Nothing but the facts. We have it up on our website. You can see their contract, which is, a real sweet deal. I mean, I wish I had that kind of contract with my things, and we just bring this. You guys ultimately make the decision with your vote. It's your vote, your voice, your chance for whatever it is you want. You want change, vote for change. You want irresponsible spending. You want, the same thing happening over and over and over again. Don't vote. I'm nobody to tell you who or how to vote. I just bring you information so you guys can see what is going on and what is the story behind the story, so you can make your determination about who you want as your next county judge. You want these things to keep on happening? Or do you want change? Guys, that's all I have for today. I really appreciate you guys joining in. Let me see. Let me go back around here. Look who decided to join us. So, red flags everywhere. Do we show that one? $8,000 a month. Wow. Let's see. We got new comments here. Let's see this. That's tough. Money bags. How am I sending and saying mixed messages? How's that, Mr. Martinez? I thought I was pretty specific. See, the thing is that I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I am nobody to tell you how to vote. I am just here to tell you everything. Now, whenever this next candidate shows up, or whoever comes out to run against Salcedo, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to dig. We're going to find. We're going to go ahead and put out information. So, I don't know, saying mixed messages. I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that. But I'm pretty sure I sent the message that things are happening in our county. We need to be aware of what's happening in our county. And it's up to you whether you want to do something about it or nothing about it. It's plain and simple. But I want to thank y'all for joining in. We're topping off at about an hour. I appreciate you joining. As always, we need to give a big shout out to our sponsors that keep us going through this podcast, through this little journey that we're doing, trying to send out information, share information to our community. And we really appreciate their support. So if you can support the Rising Texan through our Cash App, $, the Rising Texan Media directly, please go out and support our sponsors because they're the ones that keep our show going and improving. Rodriguez Consulting and Services, 830-971-4068. Guys, if you need some help with your businesses, your startups, please go out and visit these guys. Offices of Edgar Juarez, 830-752-0686. Better call Juarez. Viva K9 Dog Training, Grooming and Boarding Center, 830-513-3523. Your little furry friend deserves it. Wagon Wheel Smokehouse and Saloon, 830-513-7250. Some of the best barbecue, if not the best barbecue, in Eagle Pass, Maverick County, Texas, guys. Y'all need to go check that out. Again, guys, support our sponsors. They're the ones who keep our podcast going. They're the ones that keep us improving. They're the ones that support us. We really appreciate it. A big shout out to our sponsors that are there that have always been there for a while for us, and we appreciate that. Again, if you can support us directly, there's no donation too small, there's no donation too big. Can't be over 600 because they'll investigate us, right? $, the Rising Texan Media. We really appreciate y'all joining in. Again, with elections around the corner, you're probably going to be seeing me a lot more trying to get some information from you guys, doing those interviews that we need to get done. I know that there is currently a judge that has already come out and declared that he's going to be running for district judge again out of the 365th district, Judge Alascal. And, we go ahead and invite him onto our show as well. We have some questions that we'd like to ask him. And there may be an opponent somewhere out there that's not afraid to challenge him. And if you're out there, we'd like to speak to you too. Have you over for an interview and maybe even a little debate on our platform. We'd love that. Again, guys, we appreciate it. Please go support our sponsors. They're the greatest. They've been helping us out. They can help you out. We have nothing but quality services that we like to partner with in our sponsorships. So thank you guys for joining in. I've worked for many years with working. Okay. Well, guys, take care. We'll see you on later on. And thank you guys for your comments. We appreciate it. I haven't heard from my boy Paco. Is he around? Paco, Billy's calling you, man. Answer him, please. Thank you, Marta. Oh, whoa, special guest is here. Big shout out to Paco. Guys, visit the Wagon Wheel. These guys make the most amazing barbecue. Trust me, you will not be left with any hunger, any 100% satisfaction. Barbecue made the very same day. Their barbecue sauce, amazing. Any kind of other food, you got it. We'll see you guys later before Billy and Paco keep on going back and forth. Thank y'all for joining in. Y'all have a good day. This was the Rising Texan podcast. Your host, Isaac Ruiz. And be on the lookout for our Lone Star podcast, which is raw, unfiltered, and talks a lot of crap with Billy Perez, Mr. UFC himself. We'll see y'all later.